We are now at Season 20, and so I asked you all to pick your favorite chromatic brawler, and we collected results from over 1,800 people. Here's what we got. And so first up, with only 37 votes, we have Gale, who is in dead last. Gale used to have a really broken twister gadget. He always had cheese potential, but he used to be very boring at the beginning. Even now, his super is pretty fun to use, but sometimes he just runs out of ammo and dies. All in all, he just seems to have some sort of trait that makes him not that interesting or fun to play. Next up with 40 votes, we have Pearl. Pearl is like a new and maybe improved Pam, and she just doesn't seem to add enough uniqueness to the game, especially considering that she's our 20th chromatic. I mean, she's probably the most basic chromatic we've seen since Lola, and she was released nearly 2 years ago. Pearl's most iconic feature is a heat meter that increases her damage, but it is like the slowest thing that they have ever created, so what good does that do? Also, with just 40 votes, we have Lola. Lola has a decently high damage output, and as a result, she can easily tear apart the enemies if she has a good aim. On the targets like the safe, it only gets better, as just a few moments near the thing can be a game changer. But still, she's always been one of the more mild chromatics. Next up with 42 votes, we have Eve. As you probably know, Eve's most notable feature is easily her ability to travel over water at any given time. At the beginning, she was a little bit powerful, and her constantly growing ability to swarm the enemies can be amazing if you get the right matchup, but she takes a lot of patience to play, and as a result, she's just a little boring. Next, with only 44 votes, we have Belle. Belle's super is probably one of my favorite abilities out of anyone in the game, but also, she has an insanely high damage output, and that has made her one heck of a sniper. But it becomes very not fun very fast when your teammate stands next to you after taking a Belle shot. Also, with just 44 votes, we have, are you kidding me, Ruffs. I love him. His field promotion star power has created the ability to make some amazing but terrifying duos, and his super can provide his team a pretty nice advantage that makes him a decent choice in pretty much any mode. And just saying, the fact that they come up with a military space dog as a brawler is just, I respect that. Jumping up to 58 votes, we have Maisie. Maisie is a unique brawler with a pretty cool personality, but especially after recent updates, she became a really good unit to use. She is capable of dealing pretty abrupt damage, and she has a super that is just really easy to charge. She has a lot of fast moving abilities though, and it makes her a great brawler to play, but I guess she still kinda just falls in the middle in the bunch in terms of favorites. Next, with 59 votes, we have Lou. His super is fun to use, but on the other hand, you know the struggle that you are about to face when the enemy places it exactly where you want to go. Either way, I still think he's a fairly fun brawler to use, and the freeze mechanic is a unique way to have a strong offense. He may be loved, but he is just not the #1 favorite of too many. And next, with only 62 votes, we have Janet. Janet is super fun to use, and this primarily comes from her great maneuverability and ability to evade essentially any danger if she fills up her super. I mean, who doesn't want to use a flying brawler? Her super can also be played offensively, but sometimes it's just too hard to be effective with it. Either way, she got a lot of nerfs, and I feel like that might have made her a little bit more boring, so she will also fall right in the middle in terms of favorites. Now at 65 votes, we have Buster. Buster is a pretty unique brawler and great for the team players out there. His super is awesome to trick people with, and he's a decently tanky brawler. Overall though, he does have a lot of strengths that turn out to make him a very likable brawler, even if he's not everyone's #1 favorite. Next up, with 68 votes, we have Sam. Sam is yet another really exciting brawler to use, and a lot of his fame comes from the fact that his super is ready to use when he spawns in at the start. He is able to deal some pretty serious damage towards the enemy, but the many different combo attacks he can do and enemy pulls with his gadget make him a really popular brawler. He also does have great voice lines.
Time for bed!
Up next with 81 votes, we have RT. RT is unique and just very lovable. His soft voice and lovely attitude are certainly some of his most favorited traits. Other than that, he is able to be both long range and short range, which makes him a really versatile brawler. When he's in his short range mode, he can vaporize the enemies if he's set up properly, and I don't think there's anything to dislike about that. And up next with 84 votes, we have Ash. Ash is funny. He's got a great personality and a goofy voice, but as a brawler, he's actually really strong in some 3v3 situations. He became the first brawler to ever engage in a self-takedown, and there still remains to be just so many situations where Ash is super strong and super fun to use. I personally believe he's also one of the top Chromatics. Mandy joins us next with 87 votes. Mandy is extremely fun to use. In the right situation, she can just snipe the crap out of her enemies, and after landing enough shots, she gets rewarded with a super beam that will destroy anyone it makes contact with. And this beam we're talking about? It travels. I think it's a fair argument to make that she is the most fun sniper to play, and as a result, she's pretty liked as a Chromatic. Next up with 90 votes, we have Otis. And I'm gonna do something special here. Also, you're on.
What's this little button do? Jimbo wants me to do a cameo on why I find Otis fun. I mean, he takes fun to the simplest level possible. Funny yellow button. Have you ever been rushed on and think it's hopeless with any other brawler and your opponent thinks he's got you sorted? With Otis, you don't have to worry about that. One little push of a funny yellow button and the entire battle turns. Your opponent is running for their lives, but in reality, they cannot escape the demon that's you. Oh, and by the way, Otis is extremely cute. If you don't think he's cute, I'm coming to your house personally. Why does Otis have a gun to my head? Otis, please, I'm sorry.
And in 5th place with 100 votes, we have Colette. She's never really been much of a standout brawler in my opinion, but she still had her fair share of strengths. She is known for her ability to torture tanks. Her super is powerful, and she has proven herself to be good in modes like Heist, where she can do pretty fast damage. Oh, and her damage is still broken. In 4th place with 115 votes, we have Buzz. Buzz has always been one of the most loved Chromatics no matter what. I mean, he's known for being the great balanced brawler, so there's not much to hate. He's easily one of the best brawlers that you can use in a 1v1 situation, so major points for that. He also has his lovely X-ray shades gadget that is very powerful, and quite frankly, Buzz makes a great duos partner. In 3rd place with 150 votes, we have Cordelius. Cordelius is, let's face it, so fun to use. He started off as one of the most broken brawlers ever, and even now he has still got a lot of abilities and moves that are just so new and interesting, and he's a great brawler. I mean, the Shadow Realm in his super has really found a great way to open up a lot of new stuff in the game, and I think that probably played a decent role in contributors to Cordy's 3rd place on this list. In 2nd place, with 213 votes, we have Surge. Surge has always kind of been a nuisance to deal with, but on the contrary, he has been really fun to play. Not in my opinion, but very popular amongst everyone else. He was initially known for his Nightmare teleport gadget, but since then that has been replaced with a super that now moves roughly the same distance. He's still very much an action-filled brawler, and I feel like he can win a lot of 1v1s, and as a result, he scored 2nd place on the favorite Chromatics list. And finally, as you had probably expected it, in 1st place with 359 votes, we have Fang. Fang is really just a fun and enjoyable brawler. I think we can all relate when I say that chaining a super is literally like the best thing ever, and he even gets to launch shoes as an assault on anyone who is still standing after that. But he's a fast brawler, and he is very easy to maneuver, and with all of these factors considered, he just naturally becomes the most favorited Chromatic. Also, he does have an awesome personality and some pretty nice voice lines.
My foot, your face, it's on!
Anyways, there you have it. Here's a summary of all 1,838 votes. And honestly, that's all I got for today. Thank you all for sticking around the whole way to the end. Here's all your members, and I will see you all later.